Okay, I just finished filming my chat chill and get ready with me, but I don't necessarily feel like changing, so I think we're just gonna keep the same shirt on because I'm feeling lazy today, as you can tell with my makeup. But I am gonna pop in my new earrings that I got for Christmas. I got the House of the Dragon earrings. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. They're little dragons with little rubies as eyes. I had forgotten that I had asked for them for Christmas, so I was so excited to get them, but they're just little dragons and they're so fucking cute. And they're from Pandora. I don't know if they're still available. They had like a whole Game of Thrones, House of Dragon kind of collection. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with them. I want anything that has to do with any of my obsessions and turn it into wearable jewelry that like looks like I'm still an adult, but is also like fun and cute. Okay, we're here for our first TBR of the year. That's wild that we're here at this point, but we are. So let's go ahead and jump into all of the books that I would like to read in January of this year. These are all just priority reads, and I'm all just getting to mood read this year. This is the year of mood reading. I have not a single reading obligation to make this year because I'm not in any book clubs anymore. I'm not in any like read-alongs or anything because, in case you missed it, I've like removed myself from those just because now that kind of puts me in like an odd space with now also writing books, and I just don't ever want to get myself like in a bad situation on like a live show or anything, so I'm not doing any of those. But I still have my TBR of just all the books that I'm really excited to read. Now, let's go ahead and jump in. First up on my list is a new release that is going to be out at the end of the month. And if you think, normally I'm really bad about reading new releases on time, but if you think that I am not dropping anything and everything in my life to read this book the moment it comes out, you would be wrong. Crescent City 3, House of Flame and Shadow. Oh my god, it is so hard to think that it has been 2 years since we got Sky and Breath, because I remember sitting on my couch. I had to go for a walk. That came out in February. I live in Wisconsin. It's freaking cold. And I remember I had to go for a walk after finishing that book because I was so shook by it. And I remember thinking, like, how am I going to wait a year? And now it's been 2 years since that cliffhanger. Oh my god, I need it right now. And I don't want to spoil anything. I'm not going to say anything about this book. All I will just say, because like in case if you haven't read anything in like the Sarah J. Maas universe or this book, like I don't want to give anything away. But all I will say is that you guys know how much I love some certain characters of hers. And let me tell you, if anything happens to any of them, I will riot. There are certain characters of hers, throw them to the wolves. I don't care. Certain ones from Crescent, throw them to the wolves. But some of my babies are untouchable to me. And if something happens, Sarah, you're going to be hearing from me. So I'm very nervous about this book, but I'm so excited for it. So that is first up on this TBR, although I literally think it comes out like January 30th. So it'll probably end up being like also on my February TBR. But with that said, I'm literally dropping everything to read that. Next up, I want to read The Rest of the Story by Tal Boer. So I've had this on my December TBR, and I also put it on my 24 books to read in 2024. And I wanted to make sure that I included at least one book from that list to this TBR. I'm going to try to at least have 1 or 2 every single month from that list on my monthly TBRs to help kind of chip away at it. And this is one of my top priority reads to start out this year with. It's an enemies to lovers hockey, or I don't know if it's enemies to lovers or if it's like dislike to love hockey teammate romance. So one of the guys in this one, I think he gets like traded to this really bad hockey team, and he's supposed to be the team captain, and he like does not want any responsibility. He doesn't want to be the one who's responsible for trying to like turn this team around, but he gets put in that role anyways, and then it's him falling in love with one of his teammates. And I think one of them is like a hothead on the ice, because I remember when I had asked for recommendations on my Instagram story, I said like bonus points if one of them is a hothead, because I'd love it when the hockey player just wants to fight everyone on the ice. I think that's so hot. It gives me very much like McClanahan and O'Callahan vibes from Miracle, the movie. And I just want that in a book, and a bunch of people gave me this rec, so I'm really excited to read this one. And yeah, top priority for me. Next, I want to read Distrust by G.N. Wright. So I read another book by G.N. Wright in December, and I enjoyed it, and I'm interested to read more from them. And this one piqued my interest. I'm pretty sure it's a Why Choose, and it's a motorcycle club, maybe. I think our heroine in this one, like something happens maybe to her dad, and then she's kind of left like unprotected, and then like this motorcycle club kind of comes into the mix. I don't quite remember. I had looked it up right after I finished the other book of hers, and I don't really quite remember all of the details of the premise, but I remember thinking that it sounded really good and a little dark, and I'm interested in it. So there's that one. Next, I want to finish this duet, If There's a Way, by Jessie Walker. This was actually going to be the next book that I'm going to read, and I still think this might be, because I'm just really excited to get into it. Oh, I hope I didn't just see... Well, I hope I didn't just see something. Anyways, so I read Where There's a Will at the beginning of December, and it ended up being a top book of the year. It was on my top 10 list. I fell in love with that book, and I will talk about it more in my wrap up, but this one is book 2 following the same characters, so you do have to read book 1 in order to read book 2. I can't wait to be back with these two and finally see them find their way to a happy ending, because truly there's so much pain and so much despair that both of these characters have gone through and experienced, and I just want to see them get a happy ending. They just both deserve it so much, and they deserve to finally find a little bit of peace, and I hope that's with each other, and I'm just really looking forward to finishing this duet. This is a book that I didn't know if I was ever going to read, but I keep seeing it everywhere, and I think it's a sign. I mean, I've been seeing it everywhere for a long time, but I feel like I always kind of brushed it off, and now I keep seeing it, and I'm like, I didn't think I would ever read it, but that's Pucking Around by Emily Rath. I can't get it out of my head. My only reservation with this book is that it's like 700 and something pages, and it's a contemporary romance, which I just think is insane. But I've heard so many good things, and I've just really been in a hockey romance mood. So this one, it's another Why Choose, but I also think some of the guys are also together in it, which I personally prefer in a Why Choose. And so our heroine in this one, I think something happens with her boyfriend or fiance or something, and she ends up hooking up with this one hot hockey player, and then some time goes on and she ends up getting reconnected with him and maybe like his roommate, and then another guy on the team like comes into the mix somehow. I don't know, I could be totally butchering that. I feel like a lot of you have probably already seen this cover around. It's been really popular, and I don't know, I just want to give it a go. I feel like it'll be good. I love Why Choose, I love hockey, and I don't know, even if it is a thick book, I'm hoping that it'll just be a fun time. Next up, I have another physical book, because like I said, I really want to prioritize my physical TBR this year, and that is The Good Girl by Nikki Sloan. So this is the 5th book in the Nashville Neighbors series. I've read the first 4. I love each and every one of them, and I'm really excited to get to this one. So if you've read The Doctor, which is book 1, that one is an ex-boyfriend's dad's romance, and the ex-boyfriend is obviously left in the dust, and now this is his book with one of his best friend's little sisters, and I think in this one, she's really like inexperienced, and she asks her brother's best friend for like help, you know, in that area. And initially I think he's very resistant to her, but then he's like, oh, if I'm gonna trust anyone to do it, it'll be me. And then it obviously ends up being their romance. And just this series, it just always delivers. So I think this is gonna be a win. Next up, Breath Mints and Battle Scars by Onyx and Elm. Another 24 books I want to read in 2024 list. This is a Hermione fan fiction, and one that I already have downloaded on my Kindle. So this is an 8th year Harry Potter fanfic, which I've never read one that's not a war one, so I'm interested, but this one is post-war, and now Hermione and Draco have returned to Hogwarts after the war in order to finish their schooling, and while everyone else is kind of ready to move on, the two of them are both really struggling to, and just don't really get how everyone is just kind of like going back to things as usual. And they end up connecting in this one. So the main thing that I've heard about this one is that this is the angstiest and messiest and most toxic Draco that there is out of them all. And that makes me so excited, because I know there are a lot of fan fictions where Draco is like very sweet. I don't care about those. I don't want those. I don't want them. I want this kind of messy, toxic, mean Draco. So if he's going to be mean, I'm going to be about it. So I'm really excited to read this one. I feel like at least every single year I've got to read a Hermione, and why not start the year off strong with one of my most anticipated one and like a 5-star prediction for me. Now this next one is a brand, I literally just found this book this morning, but I was instantly like, I need it. And so I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it. So NOC Deadia by Carrie Lake. I could be saying that completely wrong. So this one, like I said, I literally just found it this morning. So I don't know the full details on it because I haven't heard anyone talk about it. But it's a student teacher. It's a gothic student teacher. So I think something happens with our heroine's mom. I think she dies from some sort of like disease. And then she ends up going to this academy to work in like the research labs to try to find a cure. And like the main chemist there, the main like chemist professor who like hates all of the first years, of course, is her professor, and they end up having a romance. Here's the thing, I am craving a good student-teacher romance. If you have any student-teacher romance recommendations that I haven't read, please leave them in the comments. I feel like I have read every single like well-known, popular, good student-teacher book out there, and I just need more. That is my favorite trope. I know you guys want me to write it. We'll get to that at some point. This sounds really good to me, so I'm adding that to this list. And also, is this, oh no, I think this next one was Brother's Best Friend, right? Yes, The Love of My Next Life by Britt Benson. Wait, why can't I remember this one? I'm pretty sure, was this the Brother's Best Friends one? It's like very toxic and messy, and maybe like second chance, maybe something happens with them and then like we jump ahead years in the future and then maybe they're like back together. I don't know. It's one that like I said, I had buried in my TBR, and when I saw it again, I was like, oh, that sounds really good, and I want to put that towards the top of my TBR. Next up is Tarnished Embers by Rosa Lee. So this one is a newer release. I think it was just released at the end of December. It was supposed to be released, I think, in March, and then she bumped up the release date. So I actually heard about this one from Elodie Hart, who is the author of the Alchemy series. She had like alpha or beta read this, and she had posted about it on her stories and like how much she was loving it, and I was like, that sounds amazing. It's a dark Cinderella retelling of our heroine, and she, instead of getting 2 ugly stepsisters, she gets 4 hot stepbrothers, and I think it's like a bit of a bully stepbrother romance. Say less. Say less. I love retellings, but like make them dark, messed up, twisted, adult. I love it all. So this sounds amazing. I'm really excited to read it, and I'm glad that it got newly released. See, after talking about all these books, I'm like, maybe this is going to be the one that I'm going to start, because I don't have anything to read. I'm not reading anything currently. So I'm like, maybe I'll read that one today. I don't know. We'll have to see, but that one sounds really good. Next is one that I'm interested in, I'm kind of scared of, but that is Obsession by Eva Marx. So this one is a dark stalker romance, but it's also horror romance, which, here's the thing, I'm a scaredy cat. I'm a little bitch, okay? I don't do good with scary things. I don't do good with horror, but this one sounds really good, and I'm interested in giving it a try. It's something different. I've never tried like romantic horror before. So our hero in this one, he is the heroine's dad's best friend, and I think something happens. I don't know if the parents are around or not, but he like has taken on the protector role of the heroine, and then when she is away at a cabin with some friends and he finds out that they plan to kill her out there, he ends up killing them all. I don't know. I'm intrigued by it. Hi, Dorian. Do you want to hop up here? He's gonna hop up. Do you want to come say hi? Oh, my sweet boy. He's like, Mom, normally we're writing at this time. I know, normally we are. And Dorian's a good helper with writing, aren't you? Are you gonna curl up and sit? So that is that one. We'll see. I don't know. I kind of want to see if I want to give that subgenre a try, because it would be something different. Or maybe I'll get too scared and I won't end up reading it, or I might end up DNFing it, like if I start it and it's too scary. So, hi, baby. Oh, that's my boy. That's my boy. There he goes. Okay, I have the next one. Physically, it's literally sitting right there, but now that he is here, we'll just put the picture in, and that is King of Pride by Anna Huang. So this is the second book in the Kings of Sin series. Again, another one that I've talked about before. I actually started this one on vacation months ago, and I just kind of forgot that I had started it when I got back home. But here's the thing, I just need to download it on my Kindle and just read it on there, because that's just how I read the majority of my books. This one is a billionaire romance, which I got really burned out on at the end of 2023. I think like for the last like 5 months of the year, I didn't want to read like anything billionaire because I just burnt myself out. I had read so many so quickly, and I love that trope. But that's why I kind of like put this one to the side, but I am excited to get back into this one. The thing about like it always being the quiet ones intrigues me, because Hayden and Take My Hand is very much, I think, along the same lines of he's shy, but not in other areas. So I'm excited to read it. Okay, last two. I have Life Lessons by Emma Luna and Madison Cole. So this was another one that I found buried in my TBR, and it's another student teacher one. Like I said, I've really been craving that. Say less. Say less. Okay, I think I literally got so distracted by Dorian that I forgot to say anything about the synopsis of this one. So sorry, but yeah, student teacher, you know how it goes. We love it. So yeah, I want to read that one. And lastly is Insatiable Hunger by Ashley James. So this one is a forbidden age gap romance between our hero and his mom's husband, his stepfather, not his like dad, not his mom's husband as in his dad, but as in his stepfather. Once again, say less. I love forbidden, I love taboo, I love age gap, and I want to give it a go. I don't think I've read anything by Ashley James before, but I think that's an author that I've seen, that I maybe have some other books on my TBR by her. So I'm intrigued. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, those are all the books that I want to read in January. We will see what I all end up getting to, but I do truly feel really, really excited about all the books. Oh, I have a cat hair now in my eye. That's what happens when you have long-haired kitties and their cat hair just flies everywhere, right? But you're so pretty that it's okay. But those are all the books that I want to read in January and plan to read. We'll see what I actually end up getting through. But truly, like, looking at this list, genuinely every single one of them that are on there right now, I could see myself picking up and starting right now, because I don't currently have anything that I'm reading. And I'm just looking forward to kind of being able to just kind of go where the wind blows me over the course of this year and just kind of reading whatever I want to read. So anyways, that is it for today's video. I will have my December wrap up next. So I think this video is obviously going to go up on Tuesday. December wrap up then will be up on Friday. So anyways, that's it for today's video. And Dorian and I will see you when I see ya, right? See you, bye.